Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video today on what it means to trust yourself. This is something that I've been working on lately. A lot of people would call it intuition, something I've been trying to develop within myself in order to get a better understanding of what decisions really align with me and who I am. The reason why this is important is because there's a lot of opportunities out there in the world, whether it be where you're going to eat tonight, where you spend your time as far as friends, and what opportunities you take advantage of for long term, maybe projects you get involved with, and maybe business opportunities that you begin to take advantage of. And with all of this out there and more being available to us every single day, the question becomes how you spend your time and energy and money. Where are you investing yourself? What this comes down to is self-awareness, because it's not that there's really this one-size-fits-all approach to how you spend your time, and there's not really a right or wrong way about it. But when you begin to spend your time and your resources in ways that align with who you are, you tend to find more fulfillment out of the things that you're doing. And really, everything you do becomes more cohesive, right? It's not like there's a bunch of different things out there and they all look like great deals and you're trying to do all of them at the same time. This is the trap that a lot of us fall into, because there's a lot of these great opportunities out there. There's a lot of great products, great services, great events that we can go to, people we can hang out with. And what happens is we begin indulging ourselves in a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And it's not bad to explore, especially if that's who you are and that's what makes sense for you in your life where you're at right now. But it's important for everything you do in your life to be congruent to who you are and to have kind of more meaning and direction and purpose. And this is to avoid a lot of the confusion that comes when you're kind of spreading yourself too thin and not really sure where you're going, kind of wandering. Sometimes, like I mentioned before, it's okay to wander if that's where you are in your life. But a lot of times we get to a point where we're really looking for a sense of direction, a sense of, where we're headed and knowing where we're going, right? So we don't just keep running into, different obstacles here or there because we don't really know where we're going. It's interesting. If you run into an obstacle when you don't know where you're going to tend to change direction. But if you know where you're going and you run into an obstacle, you're more likely to try to find a way around it because you know where you're trying to go. Whereas if you don't know where you're going and you run into an obstacle, there's not really much of a reason or motivation for you to move around it or overcome it, because where you're going to go anyway once you get past it. You could go left, right, you might even go back the way you came, and it might be pointless for you to overcome that obstacle if you're not sure you're headed in that direction. This is where building our decisions around who we are becomes important. This is where building a strong sense of self-awareness becomes important, and also getting in tune with who you are and what decisions are right for you. One of the things that's helped me is understanding that there's these automatic thoughts that happen, right? They're almost like little pieces of information, little facts, little pieces of data that are true or could be accepted objectively, but they don't really matter to you personally. They're not speaking to what makes you happy, what makes you excited, your desires, your emotions, how you feel about something. And so they're really unimportant to your overall decision. They may factor into more of your understanding of the reality of the situation. And this is where that information and that, data becomes important, these objective facts. Because if you misunderstand what something is, the way you feel about it, the way that you decide to proceed may be affected by the fact that you're not really going after what something is, but what you think it will be. And so this is where I've made a video about this before. Following your reality versus your expectations becomes important, right? And so understanding the reality of what something is the part where you really want to collect a lot of data, a lot of information, and begin looking at a lot of these objective facts. But when making a decision, it's important to really consider who you are and what you want and what your desires are. Let's say you have this opportunity for, a new car, but it's, going to be quite an investment, but it's maybe cheaper, right? Let's say that there's some deal that's happening right now on a particular car. And so you're thinking, well, I might go and, buy this car because it's going really cheap right now. And, there's a deal, right? So on paper, just kind of taking everything out of context, putting it in a vacuum, it looks like a really good deal on paper. And maybe it is. Maybe you looked at all the facts, looked at all the information, read the fine print, and everything about this deal on this car looks great. But the question still comes down to, is it the right choice for you and where you are in your life right now? What is the reason for you personally buying this car? Even though, maybe it's cheaper than it normally would be, and it might be a great deal for the time, is there something else that money might be better invested into? And this really comes down to any opportunity that might be coming to you in your life. There might be something that looks really good on paper, something that is maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, or maybe it's not even a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Maybe it just kind of feels that way. It feels like you're missing out, what people call FOMO, fear of missing out. Then, you look at it maybe in respect to where you are right now. Is that something you need? Is that something you want? You can look at it almost like when you're looking at an advertisement for a grocery store. There's all these objects that are on sale. You don't go and put all your money into, every single thing that's on sale in the store, because a lot of it might not necessarily be relevant to you. You might not need, a bottle of wine that's, half price. You might not need to buy, 6 pieces of bread for the price of 3. And so because of that, it becomes more important to see if that deal is right for you. Is it good for where your life is and what your values are and what you want in your life? Because otherwise you get filled with a bunch of clutter, a bunch of really nice things that don't really mean a lot to you. And so that becomes really confusing. It becomes really difficult to begin kind of moving and navigating your life, because you're surrounded by all these things that really just don't matter to you, that have nothing to do with who you are and what you're trying to achieve and what your goals and desires are. This is why I really wanted to kind of share this, because it's something that I've been developing, something that I've been working on, and these are just some of the things that I've noticed. Anytime you're gonna go and make a decision on something, just kind of take into consideration, am I listening to a bunch of facts and information? Or am I looking at how those facts and those pieces of data really affect, what I want and what I'm looking for? Ultimately, you want to look at, what do you want, what do you desire, what are you looking for, and then look at if that deal makes sense for what you want and desire. So I hope that helps you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.